So you're engaged with various multicultural and migrant communities on the Gold Coast. It's quite wordy, but super interesting. In terms of responding to population growth and demographic changes, what are your 3 best tips for community groups to engage culturally and linguistically diverse communities in volunteering? And what role do you think informal volunteering plays in those communities?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, so we've got 3 tips.
Yes, okay, 3. But before I explain the 3 tips, what I really want to acknowledge all the volunteers, right? It could be formal, informal. They're doing a wonderful job.
Absolutely.
And Andrew, you missed some statistic. People have to realize how big this volunteering sector is in Queensland. According to their figure, in 2022-23, the value of volunteering is worth about 118 billion. Not million, billion. So you can see how huge the sector is. And out of which the government benefit about 30 billion from not paying direct wages to the volunteers. So that's a very important figure. So round of applause to all the volunteers who does a good job. Now, as you see, I'm doing a research on the core community, the cultural and linguistic diverse community, or we can call it multicultural, members of the multicultural organizations. What we have to note is they're underrepresented when it comes to inter-community volunteering. Not to say they're not involved in volunteering, they do. They're very active in their own organizations, very active. We call it intra-volunteering, intra-community volunteering. So now they are growing in numbers. The population of Queensland is about 5.6 million, out of which 1.5 are considered as members of the core community. But they are really, really underrepresented. I had some photos I didn't bring along with me today, but if you see those photos, traditionally you see people of European background. And yes, yeah, okay. What I would like to mention is, first, recognize that people of multicultural community do volunteer. They do volunteer in their own capacity. It's informal because most of them are involved with their own organizations. Now, having said that, when I say recognize, the government needs to recognize that they do volunteer, plus this should be a bridge towards formal volunteering. When I mention formal volunteering or inter-community volunteering, it's about, for example, NGOs, SCS. These are the organizations where they have formal schedule. So they have to be recognized. It's very important. And secondly, you have to build trust, especially people from multicultural background. They tend to be from Asian countries, and so you need to trust them, build a relationship. And this will go to volunteering organizations, the larger ones, the formal ones. They should approach this organization and build a relationship. This is very, very important. I've requested personally for a number of volunteering organizations to come and meet with our members, but so far nothing has happened. So I would like to encourage people who are involved in, who are part of volunteering larger organization, please do visit different multicultural centers and then build a relationship, and this will enhance further. And the third point is, of course, there are barriers. There are barriers, traditionally speaking, language barrier. But having said that, whole community also consider second generation. Those who are born here and educated here, they speak good English, but yet they're not engaged in inter-community volunteering. So that's where government has to look into.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think those are good 3 tips. Recognize,
yes,
and then build trust,
yes,
and then acknowledge barriers and work out ways around them.
That's right.
Sounds
yes.
good.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. I'm going to go to Shaun, touch on a response from you in that one. And I appreciate that so much of your work is relating to people from different cultural backgrounds. In organisations that are dealing with multicultural individuals, how do you recommend conflict might be managed?
First of all, thank God, I don't think we really had a conflict. But having said that, in our organization, we have people from 30 to 40 different cultural backgrounds.
Yeah.
Now, I must say, religion also plays a good part when it comes to...
We all agree about religion, don't we?
Yes.
No one disagrees.
Okay. What happened is they do volunteering from their own free will. Nobody's forced to. And most of our members are from the multicultural background. And they equate volunteering as a form of charity.
Yes.
And
which is true, really, isn't it?
Which is true. It's a form of charity. So what I always remind them is, you're not only helping others, you're also helping yourself. What happened as a practicing Muslim, when we do a volunteering, it's considered as charity, and at the end of the day, on the day of judgment, we believe that God will recognize the good things that we did, including volunteering. And also, I have a motto, whenever we have new volunteers, I tell them, look, we got volunteers from every part of the world.
Yes.
Like here, we have a rainbow here, different colors, different people from different places. So I tell them, it's my motto. No matter where you come from, no matter what language you speak, no matter what your religious beliefs are, at the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters in humanity. Therefore, we should respect each other, extend love and care, and be compassionate to one another. That's the message I give it to them, and they all abide by it. So minimize any conflict. Yes.
That's good. That's really good. I think Andrew has touched on this idea of valuing the human, and then I think you've talked a little bit about this idea of kind of leaning on people's ideological idea of contributing to something greater than oneself. That's good. You deal with lots of people from lots of different countries and different backgrounds and different religious backgrounds as well. How do you ask people to leave if it's necessary? How do you ask people to leave?
Well, first of all, I'm not experienced asking anybody to leave.
Okay.
But if it happens, right? But I remind them, look, when you come to volunteering,
yes,
put your differences aside.
Yes.
Okay? That's the main issue here. Now, from a multicultural background, what I'm trying to do is to integrate members of the multicultural background with the traditional European volunteers.
Yes.
So if you see my videos at least like 2-3 times a week, what I will do is upload it to our website and our Facebook page, which is Multicultural Social Network. Here, people who join us, they really do want to get engaged with different communities.
Yes.
Right? So, and we realize by volunteering, the byproduct is social cohesion.
Yes.
Number one, social cohesion.
Yep.
And also it builds community resilience.
Yes.
And also it helps Queensland to expand further with more volunteers. So, as I mentioned, I never experienced that. Again, I use religion to them, speak from religious point of view, and then calm them down. It's great. That's what I've used.
It's awesome. That's a good tip. Hey, I'm going to give you some free advice here. In 13 years of being a divisional councillor, I have managed about 300 different community groups in my community during that time, and there's been a number of times where I've been leaned upon in order to help a volunteer not be involved with an organisation anymore. And whilst the insights that Shaun's offered, and obviously Hussain hasn't come across it too much in his space, it comes across my desk quite a lot. And I suppose I want to start by saying, look, I have compassion for your circumstances as volunteer leaders who have to deal with it sometimes. And the 3 tips that I would give you when I'm dealing with that is, firstly, where possible, seek to redeploy that person in a different role in the organisation where that conflict can be more managed. So the first thing is, let's not let them leave if they can't, let's seek to redeploy. The second is, it is great to have an independent third party outside the organisation help you with that process. Don't necessarily feel like you have to deal with it yourself. There are some really great, the Gold Coast Legal Centre or the Moderator Foundation Centre has a legal team that have like a complimentary lawyer. Sometimes it's good to get a mediator or someone that you can help. Like get an independent person who's not necessarily so invested in the circumstance to deal with that conflict. I think a lot of community organisations feel like they can't afford it or they can't deal with it, and sometimes they just want to take control of it. But I really think that many of you could rely on an independent third party. Maybe it's another community organisation with whom you partner that can step in as someone who's a little bit more separated from the circumstance to help you with that, that change. The last I would say, you must acknowledge there is sometimes a point of no return. Someone sometimes has done something or said something that means that you must take decisive action. And the safety of your broader organisation and the safety of its members is more important than one person's volunteering. And so my encouragement to you in that is be decisive. When you feel like that threshold has been passed, do not hesitate to take steps to exclude someone or try to talk to another organisation about perhaps absorbing them into a different organisation. But sometimes you just got to say enough's enough, it's time for you to leave. And I want you to encourage you. That's a hard thing to do, but sometimes really important. The panel discussion has come to its end. Really appreciate you guys being a part of it today and throwing a few questions. Ladies Tennis Association, great question, well done. I'm notoriously underestimating your organisation. Can I get a big round of applause for the panel? Andrew, Hussain and Shaun. Great to have you. I want you guys, we're still going to move to the next phase. This bit is